whatever I'm thinking and feeling, I'm going to be putting into my work. Like my elders taught me to, when I'm doing it, to have good feelings and not to be angry or mad or even grieving. Because what I'm feeling goes into what I'm creating.
In Vancouver Coastal Health, we're committed to reconciliation with First Nations peoples. And some of our work has really been exploring how we can be more culturally sensitive and respectful of Indigenous peoples as they seek care and delivery of service within our own health authority. Some of that work is really focused on the visibility of our commitment in our organization. And to that end, at Vancouver General Hospital, we began an initiative that was really focused on transforming our atrium or our courtyard and our entranceway into a welcoming and gathering space.
I work in Vancouver Coastal Health. I'm a First Nations nurse, and yet I don't know any other First Nations nurses or First Nations healthcare workers, First Nations, anybody who work in my building. And through this project and other recent projects, I'm coming to realize that there's a lot of us that work here. I spent a lot of my life on the other side of healthcare as a patient. And so that's actually why I became a nurse. And I know what it feels like to be resistant to care and to not necessarily feel comfortable coming here and asking for help, or even just asking for the basic care that you deserve.
This project is a demonstration of the commitment of Vancouver Coastal Health to not only truth and reconciliation and upholding the rights of Indigenous people. It's our journey to Indigenous cultural safety for the whole organization. It's a system transformation approach where we aren't looking at just training people and increasing their knowledge levels, but we're changing the way our buildings look and feel. All the years I've done cultural safety training and talking to community members, I say, what creates cultural safety for you? And their number one answer is, I just want to be seen. I just need them to know I have culture and it is part of who I am. I don't remove it when I walk through doors to get to the hospital for another procedure. I am still that as I walk in these doors and my whole time while receiving care in the hospital. The carving of these poles or posts is a gift from the artists that represent Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh, whose territory VGH is on.
My real name is Xwalacktun. I grew up with the name Rick Harry. I am Squamish. I am Namgis. How I became an artist, it probably goes back to when I was about 5 years old. And I remember climbing up top of a bunk bed, and it was my oldest brother's bed. And I saw his artwork taped up on the wall, and I said, wow, I like that. I want to be able to do that. So I remember climbing down, looking for paper and pencil, and started to draw. And to this day, I haven't stopped. Back in the day, they would have did ceremony to cut the tree down before you cut it, because we understand it has life. And we're going to take that life away from that tree and give it new life. And the new life will be to help pass on those messages. And then you work on it and you create what it is, and then you would bring it to life. And we use cedar boughs and water, because water is life, and we brush it. We cleanse anything off. If there was any negative energy that went on it, we cleanse it and bring it off, and we wake it up. It was raised, so there's a ceremony raising it. Right? So there's always ceremony was involved. Even our artists would have had to cleanse themselves to work on it. It's like you're having a spiritual bath, brushing any negative energy off it. There was always a purpose for art. There wasn't a decorative thing that you would just hang on your wall. For instance, if we had a mask, the masks weren't just a mask. There's a reason for it, a story behind it. There's a dance for it. There's a song for it. And the message that came from it, right? So it had life, right? For instance, this piece here, the double-headed serpent. There's the serpent coming here. And if you think about it, it's actually moving like an S-shaped form. And I have a thunderbird. And the thunderbird is connected here with the wings coming down the body here. And the old story was the person's natural name was Xwalacktun, but his name became Wichita after he slayed the serpent because he became a powerful healer. That's why I use the thunderbird to symbolize that power, that a lot of times we have to go within our own self to understand our own power to overcome this. So what I'm thinking about is that we have to participate in our own health, because we can't just rely on someone else to help us. We got to help them to help us. Hands up to all living things. Musqueam.
So my name is Brent Sparrow from the Musqueam Nation, located here in Vancouver. Back in 2005-06, my mother needed some help with the Brockton Point project that she did for Stanley Park. I jumped in there, and ever since I've been doing this. So I'll try to look in the archives, but it's getting pretty, not much really there because everything is gone, right? So that's how they taught me how to carve. Just gave me a knife. Go ahead. That's how I learned. This is a house pose design of the woman figure. The woman is standing here with her hands extended to welcome visitors and patients into the hospital. Has the eagle on top here to look over, to offer protection to people going into the hospital. And protection for the caregivers and the doctors and the nurses that are looking after people in there. The base is going to have a face with some cedar boughs in there to represent the medicines and the plants that they used to use. This post represents honor, I guess. It's honoring the caregivers, it's honoring Musqueam, it's honoring the hospitals. Puts Musqueam out front with the other nations. So hopefully people look at this and have their own meaning to it too. People use their own imagination and put their meanings onto the stuff like this. So I have mine, but people might have a different way of looking at it.
My name's Zac George from the Tsleil-Waututh Nation. My traditional name is Xwalacktun. Choosing this project was It came to me pretty quick. As soon as they said hospital, I just thought of my dad right away. My dad did a lot of work, working with health and hospitals, and he grew up really believing in his culture and his people. And not only that, he wanted to bring all humans together as one. You know, not you know, natives here and non-natives there. He wanted us to understand each other. That was the kind of guidance I had growing up, how he looked at people. He looked at all of them the same. He treated everybody the same. And that's how he directed his life and his work. And it had a big impact on me, and it still does. He led by example a lot. You know, like a lot of our learning was watching. He would perform for, you know, different events around Vancouver, and he would take us 4 boys with him to dance, and he would sing. And that was a big bonding experience for all of us, where I really learned a lot about how to treat others and how to be proud of your culture at the same time. At Christmas time, he would just pack us up, and we'd go on a drive, and it turned out we'd be going to a hospital, and it was Christmas Day, and he'd just want to be there to share his songs and show these people that had, you know, some of them had no visitors or no family, but he just wanted to let them know that they're important and he's thinking of them. And he would bring us along and we'd sing, and it was just, it was a really cool experience. Like I cherish that. So to have his presence in a hospital like VGH, it's a big deal to myself, but I know it's going to be a big deal to my dad, and it's special. It's going to be something special for our family and for him. When they see their art and the spirit that's put into those, it gives them a sense of safety, and they feel better with each other because both sides are starting to feel good now. And not only that, our welcome poles, the ancestors that passed, that used to walk in that area, they see it now. And that's only going to be a good thing for the hospital, because good things will start happening and they won't even know why. It's just going to be like that because they put up a symbol of the ancestors that they connect to and they see now. Whereas before there was nothing there and they're wondering why. So it's huge. It's huge on a spiritual and physical scale.
I feel truly honored to have the opportunity to be an integral part of this initiative. I think it will be a significant legacy for Vancouver Coastal Health in demonstrating our commitment to First Nations peoples across British Columbia as they come to our hospital to receive care.
That's the goal. That's the hope someday, that we will actually be seen not just as acknowledging traditional lands, which is what everyone's doing, which is a good first step in acknowledging Musqueam Squamish and Tsleil-Waututh for being here for as long as they have, taking good care of this land so all of us can prosper in this area. But now we have to go deeper. What does that mean? We can't just acknowledge that we're working and playing and living in their land. We need to help them to prosper as the landowners.
I feel it's important for First Nations to be comfortable to go into hospitals knowing that they could be, taken care of the right way, not to be afraid.
I really enjoy the fact that part of my culture is now at my work. It's always been very separate for me. I go home and I'm on the reserve, and I come here and I'm at work, and those are two very separate things. But it's nice now that there's a piece of me and my culture here at my workplace.
Once we go to the ceremony and see it in the hospital raised up, it's probably going to be one of my proudest moments in my life. Just for the simple fact that my dad gave so much to his work. To be honored at a hospital, to represent the people of the Coast Salish territory. I know in his heart he's going to be the happiest man wherever he's at. Thanks, yeah.